motherfucker.
Where do you go to sleep at night? Say it ain't so. Please say it ain't so. Where do you go for divine delight? Is it someone I know? Someone from before?
Hold on, something's broken. Give me a moment here.
You're drifting away and the wounds have turned into scars.
I actually don't know what the hell's going on right now, but I cannot get Streamlabs OBS to recognize the sim as a running application ever since the Canadian update. So that's new. Yeah. That definitely doesn't look right, that's for sure. Jesus. Yeah. It's not not meant to be there, that's for sure. Hang on, at least we can actually see the damn thing now. Okay, so Streamlabs won't just not find the sim window, it won't find any of the windows I currently have open on my PC. So I thought this may have been a sim related issue, but it actually turns out it might be a Streamlabs related issue. But I'm not sure, because I've never experienced this before. It doesn't pick up the windows on game capture, and it doesn't pick up the windows on window capture either. Usually one or the other works, but game capture gives us what we've currently got, and window capture gives us that tiny little clip of the side of the sim, and that's what it does with every window. I tried moving it and it won't move, it doesn't move, that's just how it is. So now I'm really confused. But I will say one thing, I'm glad that we're not doing the world adventure with this sort of technological mishap, that's for sure. I will say that, because that would be a lot more frustrating. So yeah, bear with me for another couple of minutes whilst I try and figure out what the hell I can do to make this work. Well, that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with display capture. So that just means you're going to see absolutely everything that pops up on my Microsoft Flight Simulator screen for the next little bit of time. But it does give us the sim. So, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, after that little bit of bullshit, 3, 2, 1, g'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope you're all doing fantastically. So, a bit of a very last minute change here this evening. About half an hour, 45 minutes before, maybe slightly longer, I can't honestly remember, before I was meant to go live with the World Adventure. Brett messaged me and he's just sort of like, hey, I saw that you were doing a poll on whether we should continue with the World Adventure or go across to Canada. And he's like, we're doing GA Friday Night Chill in Canada, come and join. And it's not something I could easily turn down. So that's what we did. So here we are, we're in Canada, in Vancouver, heading over, I think the first flight we're going to Kelowna? How the hell do I'm assuming I'm saying that correctly, but if anybody knows, please do let me know in the chat. That would be greatly appreciated. So, I'm going to be heading out over the mountains. I'm using Brett's flight plans. The details and information and all that for those who are interested in joining the flight is obviously over in the Discord. !Discord or !Flight plan will give you the various bits and pieces that you are looking for. You can also do !BrettPlays. And that will take you to his channel where he's currently also streaming this flight, but from his perspective. We are also at some point going to, so they're over in Brett's Discord in his channel, so that's the other thing that you can get access to from his YouTube, I believe, if you are interested in potentially jumping over into his Discord. We will certainly be doing that at some point. I don't know if you'll actually be able to access voice chat, but you'll certainly be able to follow along in the text chat channels. But without further ado, let's head over into the another chat, the YouTube chat, and let's see who's decided to join us on this wonderful evening. Is it a wonderful evening? I don't know. It's dark outside, so I couldn't actually tell you. So BrettPlays, as he's actually said here, is like, we're in chat on my Discord too if you'd like to chat with us too, Bryce. So I will jump in there once we are started up and away from the airport, because I think we're holding them up at this point with our technological issues. Letter Rapier 709 says, good evening. Where's mate? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're going really, really well. Tootie B is here. He says, g'day Peeps and Bryce. I'm assuming that Tootie has cottoned onto the fact that I am not actually a Peeps. So cheers for outing that one on the internet there, Tootie. Appreciate it a lot. Hope you're doing well, mate. Welcome to the stream nonetheless. It's a pleasure to have you here. And William Kelly as well is along with us. He says, somehow I'm going to watch 2 streams of the same thing. William, I believe in your abilities, mate. I believe in the power that you have to follow and concentrate on 2 streams at once. You got this. I may also, depending on what Brett feels, and I actually haven't had a conversation with him about this yet, and I'll do that once we're in the Discord, but might be able to set up a way to check out Streamlab OBS's new collab cam, seeing as we're both streaming the same thing from a different perspective. If we were able to set up a way to have both of our cameras working in tandem, etc. on the streams, I feel like that could be a beneficial thing. So that's something we'll look at doing as well at some point in the stream once we're up and at 'em. But without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more of anyone's time, and we're going to see if we can start a Beechcraft King Air, which I'm honestly not sure I've ever stepped foot in this in the sim. So that's, it's a good idea to always begin a stream in an aircraft that you really have no idea what you're doing in. It's foolproof, and there's no way in hell that anything could possibly go wrong. Right, so I need, yes, an avionics master switch, auto ignition, maybe, I don't know. Well, I can find the avionics master. There we go. Battery, there we go. left generator, right generator. So we've got the avionics master on as well. I'm assuming auto ignition comes into play just before starting, which would make sense. So you've got ignition and engine start there, and then you've got engine auto ignition up here. I have no idea what the difference between those two are, other than the fact that one's automatic and one's manual. That's what I'm going to assume anyway. Whilst we've got it in the forefront of my mind, whoops, hitting too many things, let's make sure that we are in fact on GPS. Williams says the next logical step is a Bryce, Shane, Brett, Dave simultaneous stream. So we've done something similar before, William. We've done myself, Shane, Wes, all streaming the same thing at once. And we've also done myself, Brett, and somebody else all streaming at once as well, a three-way. And I think we've also done Dave, myself, Wes, and Brett at 1.2. So we're just missing Shane from that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to keep trying to focus on this startup procedure. Now, fuel. I'm going to assume that we probably need the props all the way forward. I'm going to assume that engine condition goes all the way forward as well. Looking for buttons relating to fuel pumps, etc. That looks like, no, that's all inoperative. That can't have anything to do with what I need it to do then. That's my lights. There's my, like we said before, that's the bits and pieces. That's prop tests, actuators, auto feather, etc. Let's look up to the roof as well. Just can't forget about the fact that there's some buttons up here that we might need to put on, maybe. Or maybe not. Doesn't look like there is. Okay, so I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say that we're in a position where we can start the engines. Maybe. I don't know. What's the worst thing that can happen? Let's see. Let's see if we get an engine start. I don't think. Oh, maybe. It's spinning. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Brett, start taxiing, mate. I'm just trying to figure out how the hell to make a Beechcraft King Air start. But I think I've figured it out. The real test will be that when we're up and we're flying, if I run out of, battery or something somewhere along the way, that, yeah, okay, cool, I messed up. But for the moment, everything seems good and potentially a little bit too easy, if you ask me, for starting something like this. But I'm not going to complain. There we go. So that seems to be going all right as well. So let's get some pushback occurring from the electronic manual pushback truck that appears like it's supposed to have somebody pushing it, but also appears to be moving on its own, which is creepy, mildly. It's paranormal activity. It knows we're about to enter the month of October, which is Halloween, so the sim's getting started nice and early. Why are we moving forwards? Creeping. That was gonna be a whole new kettle of fish to unpack if I had not have noticed us creeping and we'd ended up in the terminal building. I wasn't aware of the fact that the King Air had the same feature as the Airbus A320neo, which is if you leave it with the brakes off on idle for too long, it will start to creep. So it looks like Brett's got us taking off out over Vancouver and then straight out over the mountains that are just off to the northwest here of Vancouver. More specifically, well, we're not actually flying over it as such, but we will be in the vicinity of the Garibaldi Provincial Park. But I'm very, very keen and curious to, as Tutti appears to be slewing in the background, I'm very, very curious to see what sort of changes have been implemented so far in the World Update for Canada, because I know for a fact previously that aside from Vancouver and Toronto and a couple of the other major cities in Canada, etc., where they had a couple of handcrafted buildings, Canada was in need of some serious work, especially north, beyond places, you know, like a few of the mines that are a little bit closer to the major cities in Canada. It was questionable. It was really questionable, some of the scenery. So I'm going to be keen to see what they've done here. Not that we're going to get a huge insight into that into this evening's stream, but we will have a much better insight after we complete the next few evenings. So tomorrow night we're going to be taking the BAE 146 on a FIFO run here in Canada. We're going to be heading up to the Diavik Diamond mine, should I say, which is actually a point of interest within the new scenery within the sim. So keen to see what that looks like. We're going to be heading out of Edmonton for that, and then we're also going to sometime next week be doing a Canadian milk run between probably Toronto and Vancouver, I would say. I'm thinking in the 787 as well. Keep changing things up, keep them interesting and different. All right, I think we've reversed well and truly enough. I'll put the brakes on so that we don't push the push trolley back to where it's meant to be. Now, everyone appears to be using this runway just behind me here there, so that's what I'm going to use. Jerko, I have the same problem. Have the exact same problem, as you can see right now. What's it yelling at me about? So it's telling me that I don't have my pitot heat on, which is cool. The park brake is on, yes. Right, I need to turn those on. And what is it yelling at me about? Nothing. Okay. Just the fact that there's no pitot heat on. Alright, so how do I acknowledge in this aircraft? Oh, right, there. Warning fire? Well, I bloody hope not. That would be slightly awkward. Yes, I will be, Brett. I absolutely will be. I just want to get her up and get ourselves in flight, and then we'll be coming over and joining you in the Discord, especially because I want to chat to you about CollabCam and Streamlabs and see if we can make that work for the stream as well. All right, let's go. Now, I've taken my parking brake off and it's no longer creeping, which is really annoying. There we go. Alright, so we're going to just use the runway that's directly behind us there. That's what everybody else was using. Yeah. Come on. Round the corner. Dip it in, dip it in, dip it in. Oh, yay! We've got the adult websites already appearing, and we're only 27 minutes in. Fantastic. If anybody in the chat who has got moderator privileges has a spare hand, that would be absolutely fantastic if you could make that shit disappear. And if nobody does have any moderator privileges, I'll sort it out in a moment. Oh, hang on, everyone still appears to be on the ground. I thought everybody had already taken off. Maybe I was, I may have in fact been dreaming. But yeah, sorry Jerko that I couldn't assist you with your issue. I'm having the exact same problem, mate. It appears that it's just a a newly introduced feature with Sim Update 10 and the World Update 11. You know, in typical, as is the wonderful artifacts that are appearing on the taxiways and all that, as it always appears to be the way with the sim when there's a update of some sort, we always get all sorts of new, interesting and different features. Right, so I mean, this looks like a runway. It looks like it's the runway that everyone's sitting on or sitting at waiting to go, so might do exactly that. Looks like we're going in this direction though. This thing's got a horrible on-ground turning circle, I'll say that right now. Absolutely terrible. Alright, pull it right up. Oh, Brett, you're amazing. Thank you. Not only are you streaming as well, but you're able to do my moderator work in my chat for me. That's phenomenal. Cheers, Brett. I've got the brakes on and the plane's going forward. So there's a new, that's another new feature included within the sim. The brakes no longer stop the aircraft. It's just a free-for-all. Alright, gear up, let's go, come on. I have no idea what the Musqueam 2 is either, but yeah, it's something. It's a point of interest, that's for sure. So I hope everyone's enjoying their, I don't even know what day what day are we? We're Friday. Hope everyone's enjoyed their week so far. I know I certainly have. I just realised I didn't set any of my autopilot stuff, so that was not my brightest moment. And because of the blurry screens, I can't actually see what I'm setting it at. It's also, we're making a left-hand turn without... This is looking probably really awkward from everybody else's perspective, and I can tell you right now it feels quite awkward. So we need to get to at least 6.5, so I'm going to sort of aim for, when it allows me to, I'm going to aim for, we'll get there eventually here, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you we will. Right, so I want flight change, I want nav, I want flight director, I want your damper, I want autopilot. I think that's everything that I need it to do. God, that's a nice tight turn from the autopilot there, I must say. It really is. Alright, so we can turn off the track IR. Get ourselves into more of a view. So as you can see, I specifically made sure that I picked the Canadian aircraft for this stream, the one that is red and white. I don't know if it's actually considered to be the Canadian aircraft, but that's the story I'm going with. So now that we have got ourselves up in the air, I'm actually going to go jump into Brett's Discord so that we can get the various chinwags and gossip about what's going on in the stream from his perspective, and also to see if we can figure out that Streamlabs collab cam. Ladies and gentlemen as well, thank you very much for hitting that like button as well. We've already got 4 likes. If you haven't hit it yet, and well, it might be feeling lonely, so maybe you know, give it a quick spank, and that would be absolutely wonderful. Alright, so without further ado, let's try and find, well, first up we're going to try and find my mouse cursor, then secondly we're going to open up Discord, and thirdly we're then going to navigate to Brett's Discord, which in itself is going to be interesting because I have way too many Discord servers that I'm a part of. There we go. So we're going to be jumping in with Steve, with Dangerbird, Wes, Brett, and the Flying Frog. So the Flying Frog does Microsoft Flight Simulator related content here on YouTube streams, to be specific, from Xbox. So if you are an Xbox Microsoft Flight Simulator user, your main man to subscribe to, go watch, etc. is the Flying Frog. Now I will check my Streamlabs chatbot to see if I've got a link to his channel set up in there or not. If not, I'll just drop the link in the chat. Midi37 is here. He says, "G'day everyone." G'day Midi, how you going, mate? Welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here. We're just about to jump into BrettPlays Discord. We've joined his Friday night chill stream this evening, and we're going to try and see if we can get the collab cam feature, which is a new feature over on Streamlabs, working as well, so that you can see both of us on both streams. Don't know if we can actually be able to get it to work, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. At least that's what I'm going to go and approach Brett with. He may or may not know that I'm about to go and approach him with this question. Tutti, I am going to go for 7,500 feet at this point, and then just review based on the kind of views and stuff that we're getting at once we're there, kind of thing, if that makes sense. Oh, I was looking to the wrong side. How much better is that? So straight away you can see they've done a fantastic job here with Vancouver. I'm doing great, Midi, as well. I really am. Hope you've had a great week, Midi, as well. We're Friday, you know, the weekend's here for you. I mean, the weekend's not here for me. It's already been and gone, my weekend. Back at work tomorrow, but you know, good news for yourself. Yeah, so let's just jump into Brett's Discord here.
November 79 is here with us as well. You're up. What did you end up getting into?
Me?
Yeah.
Hang on. I've got to, so I've just realized that I've opened Microsoft Flight Simulator in administrator mode, because I always do that when there's been a new update and stuff, just because it just seems to work better. But I've got to restart Discord, so just give me 2 seconds whilst I sort that out. No? Well, where is Discord? I want to quit Discord, like so, and then bring it back up. Midi says he's still got school, but he's got flight school on the weekend. I mean, Midi, to be fair, does that really count as school? I mean, I'm sure it's difficult, but it's obviously very enjoyable as well. you got to justify it in some way, hey? But that's cool. I wasn't aware of the fact that you were training to be a pilot. Which particular license are you currently going for? The recreational certificate, or are you going for your PPL, or are you just going the full hog and doing your whole commercial setup? All right, let's see now if Discord plays ball with us.
The crash to desktop, Frog.
Okay,
Still not doing.
3 times. Oh, that was a bit of a freeze. What happened there? Did somebody load on top of me?
I see the mistake I've made. I've got to leave.
Is
shut
that on
down Discord again. 2 seconds. Also, let me know how the Discord volume is there, ladies and gentlemen, with Brett, because sounds incredibly loud for me, and I don't want it to be taking over the sim and the stream and all those things. So I can obviously adjust that. But yeah, bloody hell, Discord does not make this easy. You've got to open it in a specific way when you've opened other apps with in administrator mode. It's quite a, you know, they're a tad bit louder than you. Yeah, I kind of figured they would be. So what I'm going to do is find Discord in my... Oh yeah, I won't be able to find it in my volume thing, because of course I don't have the app open, because I just closed the app to try and fix the whole issue I'm having with it not being... I want to run Discord as an administrator as well. Mitty says he's doing his recreational pilot's license. So, the same... that's the same as Shane from Oz Flight Simmer, I believe. Alright. Now let's do the Discord volume. And then let's jump into the Discord and see if we can finally join in this chat.
I have to wait and get a little further away.
Testicles,
And-
testicles, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, there he is. The man,
Alright.
the myth, the legend. And
The
also,
Brazil of the kitchen is here.
that's the gentleman up in the top right-hand corner, right up there. Wait, hang on, I'm pointing that way.
Let me know, Mitty, how they're coming through now that I've
Marcel, how do you not burn water?
lowered the Discord volume. Mitty says, I have a great selection of background music, though. Thank you very much, Mitty. Really appreciate that. I do like to spend time sort of on a monthly basis
I
for an
wonder
hour
if
or
he's on
so,
Push to
just
Talk.
browsing Epidemic
I'd say
Sounds
it's on Push to Talk.
library, listening, adding,
Didn't hear me.
removing, keeping
he's chatting
things, you
with
know,
people.
nice and fresh. Tootie says last year's music was really great.
Yeah, so Marcus was
Last
saying
year's
the,
music is
the
same as
750
this
did
year's
need
music, as
updating.
far as
I
I'm
also
aware.
noticed that
there'll
I've
be a
tried
few
this out several
changes,
times today.
Tootie,
The
I would have
second
removed
time
a
I
few
took it
things
out,
and added a few
my
others, but there's not
G1000
that much
refused to work.
difference.
It just sat normally. And when I increase and decrease, it
Just
jumps up
to
between
me, Brett sounds
1100,
incredibly
2200,
loud. So just let me know,
3300, 4400.
because I can adjust
So it goes up
Brett
like
manually
in multiples.
as well.
But you can go over to the altitude here and just adjust it in 100 increments or 1000 increments. And then
There we go. That
obviously
actually.
you click
So it
your
turns
other
out I had
button
Brett
here,
on
turn on the controls and
171% volume.
Maya and
Which is,
F22 is being scrambled.
Probably not
to
required
your
for the stream.
location.
That's the second time in
We
this
need
stream. We've only been streaming for 40 minutes. That's the second time in this stream that the adult dating site has come in and dropped their information for us. Now, I'm not saying that we're popular with adult dating sites, but we might be.
No
And
one's
that's
gonna know
slightly
you're there.
concerning because, as far as I'm concerned, this content doesn't. I mean,
That's some Aussie gamers.
the Mile
already
High Club, who
overtaken
knows?
me. Are you kidding?
their volume is good just when you both
yeah,
speak
slow
on top
right
of
now.
each other, you can't understand anything. Yeah.
He's sitting
And
on
this
264
is
ground
potentially
speed.
the issue with me being in the Discord
264, yeah, I slowed down so
multi-streaming.
all you guys can catch up. I got down to below 140.
Because, so from my end of Discord, I have push to talk, which means that they only hear me when I push the button. But I don't believe that's how Brett has it set up. So basically, if I'm sitting in that Discord channel, all that's going to be happening all stream is in the background I'm going to have Brett talking. Which, you know. So I might just not go in there, unfortunately. Just because it makes it really hard for me to keep talking because I'm distracted by what they're saying, and then you guys are saying that you can't understand anything because it sounds like we're all speaking over the top of each other, which of course we are, technically, you know? Yeah, I know. Well, you know, what can I do? I mean, I could message him and ask him to put a push to talk on, but then I guarantee you the others in the Discord will probably overtake the chat, and that's fine. That's what Brett does on his channel on a Friday night. He sits in the Discord and he chats to his members, but it's very hard to do a multi-stream. But that's cool. That's cool. We'll still fly along with Brett. We'll still keep in contact with him. He'll still jump in and send messages, I'm sure, etc. And we'll do vice versa. But for the moment, let's enjoy what Canada has to offer us. Although it does look like some of these... somebody needs to do a Canadian mesh, I feel like. Because as you can see straight away, even though these mountains look really good, there's still issues with textures and stuff. And this is... like, we're in the surrounds of Vancouver here, so it can't really be, you know, a case of, oh, there's probably not, you know, proper photography available for the area. I'd say, yeah, just somebody needs to do a mesh. Orbex, or anybody else, if you're listening, one of those people who like to do mesh. You've done Alaska, so Canada would be great to go with the World Update, you know? Just saying. I mean, I don't actually think that Orbex is currently sitting in here listening somehow, but, you know, you never know. You never know. So we've got a couple of seaplane bases coming up, and I don't really feel like doing a Captain Sully, especially deliberately. So I think we'll avoid. Visiting the seaplane bases for touch and goes. I mean, I guess we could dip the landing gear like it's a kit plane. You know, one of those regional style kit planes. We could potentially do that. Probably with the speed that the King Air goes at, rip the landing gear off in the process, but you know, that's fine. We don't actually need the landing gear until the end of the flight, and then, you know, belly landing, grass paddock, I'm sure we can pull it off. Yes, Sully, just say unable a few times and land wherever you want. I mean, I'm probably going to pass. Unless we actually need to put it down in the Harrison Hot Springs seaplane base. So far, at least, in this flight, we haven't had any birds sucked into the engines, so, you know, kicking goals. Just making sure that I'm not exceeding the airframe speed limit. I'm not. It's a real shame about this low cloud, actually. I was hoping to do this whole journey on live weather, but if it keeps on being a shit like this, I might just play God, you know, perform a few movements with the weather. Just, yeah. So what have we got? Right now we're now coming up on the Sasquatch Provincial Park. Let me know if you do in fact see any Sasquatches. I mean, you probably won't. Would be interesting to know if somebody's done a freeware add-on to add native Canadian animals to the sim. Maybe somebody's working on that now that the update is out. Who knows? A lot of these developers know how to keep things very much on the hush-hush before they just sort of go, haha, surprise! Check out what we've done. I would love to know what this body of water is called, but Google Maps is not telling me. It's called, oh, there we go, it's called Harrison Lake. So Harrison and his lake. It's like Luke Luck who licks lakes, but this is Harrison's instead. Hang on, does Luke Luck lick lakes or like lakes? He's one of those, isn't he? I know he does something with lakes. I should. One thing I'm going to be trying to keep an eye out for, though, on this whole journey is matching up what I'm seeing in the sim to what I'm seeing over in little nav map with Google Maps. I know it's not the same mapping. I know one's Bing and one's Google, but it's just going to be interesting to see that, you know, whether this world scenery update is to the, you know, to a good standard, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Make sure, you know. So I mean, at the moment, there's not much to compare. You know, it's just a whole lot of water and mountains and green and trees and yeah. Mitty says, I think Luke lacks the lakes to lick. I'm assuming. Well, I shouldn't be assuming, but I'm wondering if you know where I got that from. The Luke Luck licks lakes or likes lakes or whatever. It's a Dr. Seuss. Poem? Is that what it's called? Is it a poem? I don't know. I'm just gonna chuck Brett a message in his Discord Just be like, hey, I cannot sit in there because all that happens is I just have him in the background talking over me. There we go. Just let him know that we haven't abandoned him for no reason. There's good reasons behind my decision. Oh, you had no clue where I got it from. There you go. I'm quoting Dr. Seuss poems, which is actually the second time in the last week, I think. Yeah, we were talking about green eggs and ham and fox in socks on box about a week or so ago. Just revisiting the childhood, you know, all the things that parents used to read out to us. Gen Y, millennials. I'm a millennial, I think. Of course, I'm a millennial. What am I talking about? Millennials are like 1983 to 97 or something, I think. Don't quote me on that. I am literally plucking numbers out of the air right now. Oh, you remember those two poems, Mitty? So then, Mitty, you must, just because I automatically went towards, oh, Mitty is young when you said school earlier on, even though you're actually talking about flying school. So that was probably a bad direction to head in. But no, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you your age on stream. You don't have to divulge that sort of shit. It was just more of a, oh, okay, if he remembers I'm assuming you're a he. That would be slightly awkward. You obviously remember the Dr. Seuss poems. I'm rambling and jumping all over the place. It's, you know, I don't know why I'm surprised by this. It's incredibly common. Oh, there we go. Tutti says, 1981 to 1996. There we go. So I wasn't actually that far off there, Tutti. Really, was I? I mean, what were we? 2 years too late and 1 year too late on the end time. So I'll take that. That assumption is fair. Yeah. But I guess, you know, I should have also taken into account the fact that you are doing your RPL, and it appears that you are funding your RPL from what you were saying about the fact that you can't afford anything further. I fully understand. I was in the same position. I'm still in the same position. What am I saying? I am in the same position. And it is the reason why I have progressed no further with my pilot's license in real life, because I'm sort of like, I love it and all, but can I legitimately justify, you know, 40-something% of my weekly wage to learn how to fly on a weekly basis? And that brings up two problems. Firstly, can't really justify that sort of percentage, you know, going to a flying school thing. Secondly, I don't actually have a spare 45% of my weekly wage to throw at it anyway when I'm trying to save to head back to Southeast Asia to make up for the complete and utter mess and debacle that was caused with the loss of the content previously. I can't have everything is what I'm saying. So I understand exactly where you're coming from there. For reference, I'm 29, Mitty, for reference. Alright, so what have we missed whilst I was ranting about how expensive flying schools are? Mountains is what I've missed. I'd be almost quite keen to come back to this part of the world maybe in a week or two, because I've been looking to do, you know, the occasional canyon run in like old school military aircraft, so the Corsair, the Spitfire, the P-38 Lightning, all that sort of stuff. But I've been looking for like canyons that we can run through that are not super well-known or renowned or famous or anything like that. More, you know, interesting in different places that sort of haven't been explored. Well, this looks like a good start. This is, well, what we're coming up on is called Hell's Gate. I don't know whether I should be concerned by that or not. I also feel like we've left everyone behind. And I don't... Oh no, maybe not. Okay, we got Wesley, we got Tootsie, we got Adventure Bushflies, we got Dangerbird, we've got Mia, we got Steve, we got Dreezy, we got Wes, we got Marcus. Okay, we haven't left everyone behind. There seems to be a few packs. For a minute I thought we were going to go into the side of the mountain there. I don't know why. This is pretty spectacular though, I must say. Like, again, could benefit greatly from a good mesh, but not bad at all. Much better than what it was, that's for sure. It is a lot better than what it was. It's just a shame that we've still got, like, you can quite clearly see that there's still quite a few textures missing from certain parts. And the other thing, I guess, to keep in mind is Canada is a massive country, like the US and like Australia, and the US has needed more than one map update to get to where it is right now. So I guess there's probably, hopefully, a good chance that there will be more map updates coming for Canada in the future. But in the meantime, let's... Hell's Gate Air Tram. Is that like one of those trams that like clings to the side of the mountain basically and goes up in an almost vertical manner? What is a Hell's Gate Air Tram? I'm actually tempted to Google this. Seeing as this isn't my flight plan and isn't something I've worked on with Calling Pigeon, I'm needing to Google this stuff. It's not just sitting there in my Discord ready to go. So hang on, what is it? Hell's Gate Air Tram is... So it's like a... what are those things that... It's like a cable car kind of thing. There we go. So it's in the abrupt narrowing of British Columbia's Fraser River, downstream of Boston Bar in the Fraser Canyon. So it just hangs, and you sort of do an air tram journey down there in the Fraser Canyon, where we're, so yeah, down in there is where it goes. It works its way along. I don't think the cables are included in the photography for the world update somehow. I guess, the good thing is that with the dodgy textures, they are over in the parts that people are probably less likely to fly over. But as I've said already twice in the stream, and I'll say it a third time, Orbex, if you're listening, please, can we have some nice mesh to complement the rest of the great work that Asobo has done with Canada? That would be spectacular. I wonder if these little bits that they're sort of pointing out, are they little towns? Are they possibly cable car stations along the way? Honestly, I don't know. Because they've got some weird names, like Carmoose 4 and Boothroyd 13. You know, and then there's a resort down here. I thought... Oh, actually, I guess this part of the world probably does get quite warm in summer, now that I think about it. Now, coming up on our left, we are coming up into some really tall terrain. So, hopefully little nav map is not telling me the wrong MSA. Otherwise, we are a little screwed. Mitty says, how about industry areas for foresting? Oh, yeah, okay. That might be a good... That's probably not a bad suggestion, actually, there, Mitty. I keep, I forget, until I come into Canada, or, get Canada back on the brain, I always forget about the fact that Canada and Australia, other than the terrain surrounding, British Columbia and all that, which is quite elevated and mountainous and all that, I keep forgetting that Australia and Canada are actually quite similar in the way that they're set up. They've got a lot of mining that goes on: coal, iron ore, diamonds, gold, etc. They also have a lot of forestry, etc., like we do. What just we don't have is this. We've got a smaller version of this with much lower mountains, but we definitely don't have this over in Australia. We've got what I'm going to say they're probably 10,000 feet. God, three times in 1 hour. We've got the best adult dating site come in and drop their messages. You would think that they must be smashing through channels, because they go in and they get banned, and then they're back in 20 minutes with another channel with the same name leading to the same location. Like, what sort of life is that, where you're just continuously churning out YouTube channels of the same name, only for them to survive for a couple of hours before they're all kicked out of people's channels? And then you have to make another one, and another one, and another one, etc. They're clearly churning them out quicker than every couple of hours, because we're getting them every 20 minutes. Yeah, it would actually make sense, Mitty, that these are all forestry areas, because they're all really close to each other and they're very small. Too small to be a town. And it'll be very weird for lots of tiny little towns to be so close to each other. You'd just all turn it into one big place. That's funny. Skyway, nope. 26. That sounds like the place to be. I just named all the ores you can mine in Minecraft. Well, there you go, Mitty. Obviously Minecraft's mining is based around Australia and Canada's, which would make sense, because they're two of the in the first world, in terms of countries within first world. Anyway, they are two of the countries that probably have a lot of mining going on. Absolutely. Beeve says, hello, how are you, Beeve? Mate, I am going fantastically. I hope you're doing really, really well. Welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Hope you've had a fantastic week so far. Feel free to jump in and join us. Also, make sure, Beeve, if you haven't already, exclamation mark BrettPlays into the chat. He is who we are dual streaming with. We were going to jump in the Discord, but it's very, very difficult because he's got his whole group of viewers over in his Discord, which just means that everybody's talking over everyone. But yeah, if you haven't checked out BrettPlays yet, do yourself a favour and do so. I'm hoping that he responds to my Discord message soon, because I want to try and do the Streamlabs collab cam, so at least you guys can see Brett, and vice versa, people can see me over on his stream, so that it has a better idea of, or everybody has a better idea of who is what and how and where, if that makes sense. You're doing well, Beeve? That is fantastic news. We're just enjoying the Canadian World Update, which so far has been really, really good. Other than a few little bits and pieces where you sort of go, okay. They've missed a few textures, but overall, much, much, much better than what it was. And it's also, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like they've made even more optimization progress within the sim. This is so incredibly smooth right now. So they did optimization in in Sim Update 10, and now it appears they've done more optimization in World Update 11, and I also now have the new NVIDIA graphics card driver installed as well. So I'd say a combination of all three, we have it looking super smooth. Everything is on ultra. NVIDIA DLSS is on the highest setting possible. Wes has had a CTD, he's too tired. Wes, mate, if you are listening, I did message Brett, but it was too difficult for me to be in his chat because he doesn't have push to talk, so all that resulted was nobody in my chat being able to understand me. But do let Brett know that I've messaged him. I would like to be able to potentially test out Streamlabs collab cam with him if he's interested. But also, if you're too tired to deal with it, Wes, you are all good as well, mate. Feel free to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. We'll be serving beverages and snacks very soon. I know it's not common to get a beverage and snack service on a scenic flight over Canada in a King Air, but we're different here at... what's a good airline name? We're different here at Maple Poutine Airlines. Guys, if you haven't already, the like button, it's looking a little bit lonely. It looks like it could do with a little bit of a touch, a little bit of a caress. Let it know that we're here for it. Make it feel wanted. If you could, that would be amazing. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, really appreciate that. Beef says, "Oh God, the bots found us." So the bots found us 3 times in the first hour. That's got to be some sort of record. Obviously, they're big into showing the people of the flight sim world that, hey, you can date online. And I just sort of feel like saying to them, yeah, no shit. Have you heard of Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Plenty of Fish? You know, I don't need to be clicking random YouTube dating links. Not that I would anyway. So, did you know YouTube is not the first place I go for online dating? I know, it's amazing. Who'd have thought? Brett, I also haven't stopped anywhere, mate. I don't know if I was meant to. Butchered online dating as a whole. Well, actually, yeah, I could, to be honest with you, Mitty, I could probably run a whole separate YouTube channel on how not to do online dating. I feel like I'd be an expert on what not to do. Oh, well, they obviously don't have any map data for this area. But I can confirm that Google Maps has got map data for this area. Just saying, Big, you've done a good job, but not a great job, obviously. It sounds like I have experience. You could say that, Mitty. You could say that. Absolutely, you could. I don't know if it's, yeah. As I said, it's if you want to get experience on what not to do, I could probably create a very successful YouTube channel. But I don't know if I want to create a successful YouTube channel that could potentially end up being my career based on taking the piss out of my abilities to do well on online dating. I don't know if that's what I want to be known for, you know? I mean, hey, you know, if I get desperate and it's a last grasp option, it's maybe something I can consider doing. So, they missed that part, but it seems like they've done a really good job over here. There's a lot of little logging townships all throughout here. Although I wonder if they're still logging now that we're out here. I wonder if these are fly in, fly out parts of the world. Is that a airstrip there? No, it's not. You would think if they were FIFO... Oh, hang on, there's an airstrip there. It's that Cache Creek Regional Airport. Doesn't sound like a mining area. This almost looks like the desert. But it's got snow on it at the same time, if that makes sense. Is there any... Here's a question for the chat that can potentially... And it's a question that I could simply Google, but no, I want to get you guys involved in the question, and that is there any deserts in the world where it snows in winter? It could potentially still be logging. I see farms still here, so it's possible they have the correct weather for farming in forest areas. And you could be onto something again there, Midi, because there's a lot of circles, farming circles, and then on the other side of the water, you're back into a lot of forestry. So, I mean, it's probably not a bad thing to keep your people's accommodation away from where they are employed, no? I mean, yes, you're not wrong, Minnie. Technically, parts of Antarctica are considered a desert due to the lack of rainfall, absolutely. But I feel like Antarctica is it's a slightly different situation, considering that the whole damn thing is made from water and ice. And if it was to get too hot, it would just melt into the ocean. So it would therefore no longer exist. So I don't know if you can classify it as a desert where it snows. I mean, you probably could. If you were trying to win an argument, or you were in court trying to argue the situation, yeah, you've probably got a leg to stand on. But there we go. Both Tutti and yourself have said there was snow in the Sahara back in the early 2010s. Wow. Isn't the Sahara in India? Now, more stuff for me to Google in the stream. I should have renamed this stream Canadian Mountains with Googling. Alright. Sahara Desert. Oh, no, sorry, that's not in India at all. What the fuck am I talking about? The Sahara is in Africa. Of course it is. Although my Google Maps appears to have just given up on loading in any actual details, but there you go. Last time it snowed in the Sahara was January 2022, so really, 9 months ago. Well, there you go. I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't even know that there was snowing in deserts. Not only is it snowing in deserts, it's been snowing in deserts 9 months ago. What part of the Sahara, Tootie? It would have to be an incredibly remote part where it's either got elevation or it's so far from any water source that it doesn't allow the temperature when the sun goes down to stay warm enough. Hey, KC Plane Spotting is here. G'day, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing fantastically. Happy Friday, assuming that it's Friday for you by now. Hope your week's been awesome. Hope you're... has anyone got anything planned for their weekends? Anything different, interesting, exciting they're planning on getting up to? All I'm doing for the weekend is working and streaming both days, which is not a bad thing, I must say. It means I get the weekend pay rates and all that, so I'm certainly not complaining. I want to make that very clear. Ain Sefra in northwest Algeria. So I'm assuming that Ain Sefra is an elevated part of the Sahara. KC Plane Spotting says, I'm going to Dubbo this weekend. Hell yeah. Been a long time since I've been in Dubbo, probably a good 15 years or more. Last time I was there, they'd only just... like Hog's Breath Cafe was the new franchise that had opened in town that everybody was sort of like, oh wow. So it's been a while, but are you flying? Are you driving? Yeah, obviously you're doing flight school over the weekend, Midi. Is that... So is flight school, is that a thing where it's like 2 hours, 3 hours in a day? Is it an 8-hour day? Is it both days? Yeah. Are you going to drive there? KC Plane Spotting, if you don't mind me asking, I'm assuming you're from Australia. What part? I'm assuming either somewhere in New South Wales or southeastern Queensland. Tootie B says he's getting ready for Singapore and Penang. Early November, just saying that to make you jealous. Thank you very much, Tootie. That's most definitely what I needed, is a reminder of the fact that I lost all the footage. You're not making me jealous in the fact that you're going, because obviously I still got to experience it all. I just have no digital memories of experiencing it. That's the part that's making me jealous. Maybe you need to take a camera and make up for the fact that I lost all my footage, and you can start vlogging. I'm the bus driver, and you're the victim, obviously, in this one. Right. Okay. So you're from Sydney, so it's not too much of a crazy drive across to Dubbo. I was going to say though, KC Plane Spotting, if you were flying to, obviously, maybe we could see a Sydney to Dubbo trip report kind of thing. But if you're driving, it's, I mean, you can still do one. Technically, I guess you could call it a vlog. I don't know. I'm big into convincing people to put content on YouTube. How far is Sydney to Dubbo? 300-400 kilometres, I reckon. That's going to be my guess. I'm sure KC Plane Spotting will let us know, but yeah, that's going to be my estimate. 300-400k. No, I prefer Sydney. Tutti, prefer Sydney. Wow, I am really, really far ahead of the second pack of... Is that a second pack, or is that another stream that's going on over there? Does anybody know if Big Jacko's Gaming is also streaming in this part of Canada this evening? Yeah, exactly, Tootie. It's a very short hop for us Australians in the scheme of things. Anything less than about 500 kilometres is just down the road. So just before we passed over Kamloops and that part of the world, now we are heading towards Knutsford. What type of nuts? Don't know. Almond, walnuts, macadamia, cashew. Oh, Mitty, that's amazing. And I'm 100% in agreement with you, Mitty. But Mitty prefers Sydney due to the poor infrastructure, high amount of homelessness, and the fact that he's in Melbourne. To be fair though, Mitty, their rail transport infrastructure is good. I mean, I know that their rail transport company is completely and utterly useless and rubbish, and it's only operational probably like 50% of the time, but the infrastructure's great. It's just a shame that they can't properly make use of it, because the rest of their equipment, their trains, the people in charge of running, like the rail minister and all that, is completely stupid. One day in Melbourne and have not visited before. What would you do? Well, I would most definitely go to the Queen Victoria Market. Whether that was in the morning time to enjoy the market as a market, or whether that was on a Wednesday evening to enjoy the street food market that they have running down there. Either one would be great. Both would be amazing, but either one would be great. Especially seeing as you've only got one day, you can't really, pick and choose. But highly recommend a Wednesday if you were to spend one day in Melbourne. I would most definitely go to the Eureka Sky Deck and get a view across the city, and I would also go and do the Ferris wheel over at Docklands, especially if you're not an Australian and you're a tourist. That gives you a good viewpoint across Melbourne. Other than that, if I would just spend some time in the CBD, walking around, see Flinders Street Station, Federation Square, Hoosier Lane, etc., and then just in that same part of Melbourne is incredible pubs with beers, and then you've got amazing restaurants and cafes, and so you could, for the second half of the day, just completely lose yourself in the central part of Melbourne. Go enjoy some amazing, go see some of the crazy hidden cocktail bars. So there's a lot of hidden cocktail bars in Melbourne as well. That's probably where I'd finish up the day. Yeah, that's basically it. Mitty says, personally, I'd just spot at the airport. Yeah, look, if I'm going to spend 24 hours in Melbourne, and I've never been there before, I'm probably not going to spot at the airport. That's like somebody saying, I've got 24 hours in Bangkok, I'm going to spot at the airport. That seems like a waste of time and money, as good as plane spotting is. I thought this next waypoint was our destination. I was going to be like, okay. But no, we're good. But Mitty, I might actually go and do that sometime in the next week or two. No, so Sid Squad is Mitty, but they're not going to Bangkok for 24 hours just to plane spot from Suvarnabhumi. They're like he's spending 3 weeks or something in Thailand on holidays, and he's managed to reserve one day where he can spot at Suvarnabhumi. It's a very, very different scenario. If I was spending if I'd brought the right, let me try again. If I had the equipment that Sid Squad had, I would also spot if I was in Asia. Sort of, Midi. Sort of. I'm in Victoria. I'm not actually in what is considered metropolitan Melbourne. I'm not far from it, but I'm not in it. So it's that's why I have to plan airport plane spotting trips, a few weeks in advance, because it's a good 2-hour journey in both directions for me to get there. Not St. Kitts, as in St. Kitts and Nevis. What? Oh, St. Kilda. Look, to be fair, Tutti, you asked me. You've got 24 hours in Melbourne. You've never been there before, so I focused on central Melbourne. If you had 48 hours in Melbourne and you've never been there before, then that's when I would suggest, okay, day 2, go to Brighton and St Kilda and that part of the world and see the beach and go see Luna Park and all that. That would be if you had 48 hours in Melbourne. And I could keep going, 72 hours in Melbourne, well, you add this, 5 days in Melbourne, add these things, etc. You could quite easily spend 2 weeks based out of Melbourne, exploring Melbourne and the parts of regional Victoria that surround the Melbourne metropolitan region. No worries, Midi. That was probably your first mistake, was a bucket of KFC coleslaw, but sometimes it just calls our name, Sorting out Caribbean holiday. Hell yeah, Tutti. That sounds bloody decent, mate. How many holidays you sorting out, mate? You're going to Penang and all that, and then you're asking me about Melbourne, and you're sorting out a Caribbean holiday. I mean, feel free to share some of the money with the rest of us so we can also travel. That's how it works, isn't it? Set up a GoFundMe. Absolutely, Tutti, 100%. It's you are not wrong. You are not wrong. It's for a country that's the same size as the United States, basically, in land size, but only has 25.5 million people. You would think there would be less to do and see here. Some of it is delayed COVID travel. Okay, that's, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, So we are only, we're only 23 nautical miles away from the end of the first leg. So there is 2 legs, but I need to look at the flight plan of the second leg first before I make a decision on whether or not I will be streaming it alongside Brett, because he was saying it could be quite long. And I do need to be at work tomorrow morning before 7 a.m. So if we've got the ability to, I will obviously stream the second leg. If we don't, obviously go and enjoy the second leg with Brett. He's definitely streaming it. Yeah, this has definitely got to be a forestry area, because look, you can see that parts that have been cleared and then replanted and are starting to regenerate, where the trees look like little shrubs, and then you've got the areas that clearly haven't been done. Look, same thing here. All the little patches where they've cleared and replanted, and the regrowth is starting to occur. So Midi was definitely onto something with saying previously that bits and pieces. The little towns is what I'm trying to say. Was definitely forestry and that. All right, so I should probably. What is so the active runway is 16 over at Kaluna. Yeah, I'm gonna how do I turn the autopilot off in this thing? That disconnected it? Yes, it did. Fantastic. All right, let's bring this in. You've watched so many Oz travel vlogs on YouTube? Yeah, so I do the same thing, Tutti, whenever I'm planning a holiday. I swear I'm probably subscribed to every single expatriate YouTuber that's ever traveled to Southeast Asia, whether that be Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. It's just my YouTube feed is just a continuous flow of Southeast Asian travel vlogs at this point. It's not a bad thing. I'm going to make that very clear. It is not a bad thing. I just realised that my aircraft is yelling at me going, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear. Why? Obviously, it thinks we're making a touch and go on the tops of these mountains on the way in or something. It's definitely not going to happen. Well, not deliberately anyway. I actually don't follow any real Australian travel vloggers on YouTube. There, Tutti B, which is, I guess, not really weird. Seeing as, you know, like, I should know living here. Yeah, look, I'm a little bit low, aren't I, KC Planes? Just slightly. Just, you know, whatevs. Not a big deal. Beluga on PC Beluga on PC rather, not Beluga on Piss. Says, hi, hello, I'm here just. Yeah, you are, Beluga. Yeah, you are. Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're doing really, really well. I have no idea what my housemate is getting up to right now, but it sounds interesting, that's for sure. Don't worry, it can't be anything weird. He's currently hanging out with his sister, so unless he's into that sort of stuff, and that opens a whole new can of worms. Oh, there we go. For the 4th time in an hour and a half, ladies and gentlemen, we have been met with the best adult dating site on YouTube. To any young ears, I apologise for what I'm about to say, but I just wish they'd fuck off, you know? And they always seem to come in whilst I've got both hands occupied with flying, which of course means that then I can't do anything about it. So I do KC plane spotting. We were just having this conversation before. They are literally churning out a new account every 20 to 30 minutes because it's the exact same name. So we ban them, we hide them from the channel, and then 20-30 minutes later they're back with the same name, but obviously a new account. So it's a continuous fight, unfortunately. Alright, let's see if I can balance this like this. Fly the aircraft and remove the bot at the same time. Okay. Well, I didn't crash. Although I will say that I can't see shit because of this foggy haze. So we're just going to stay low and slow. Although we're not exactly going slow. Welcome back, Mitty. Welcome back. I was saying before you left that, well, KFC coleslaw, I've never been a big fan of it. And you've just reminded me why. Alright, let's not fall out of the sky here if we can avoid it. Still can't see the airport runway. It mustn't be far off because we're 2 nautical miles, but yeah, we're still going way too fast to land. Maybe I should put some flaps out. There we go. Oh, okay, I see the airport runway now. We weren't lined up with it, so what we're going to do is we're going to line up from here, which is not very safe. Actually, it doesn't look like it's too bad in the end. Well, I mean, that is, like, you're not wrong, Mitty. You are not wrong, but at the same time, I don't trust supermarket coleslaws and pasta salads and all that, and I don't trust them from fast food chains either for the same reason. Don't know how long they've been sitting. Why are we floating so much? Are we even going to get this thing down before the end of the runway? Down, boy, down! Hello? Can we... What the... Okay. That's got more... Well, it's got more float than a Titanic, that's for sure. That was, very, very floaty. Extraordinarily floaty. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly... once we do pull up at the terminal, I'm just going to inspect the second flight plan and see if we're in a position to... potentially join Brett for the... Hello? Can I get some right-hand turn? My God. That was weird. I basically had to come to a screaming halt to get the front nose gear to even react. Might also, whilst we're on the ground here, even if we don't decide to do the second leg, what I might do is I might grab out the drone camera and we'll grab some landing footage of everyone else as they make their way into Kelowna here. I mean, yeah, it's not hard to have more float than the Titanic, is it, Mitty? Not at all. Looks like the first person who will be joining us here at Kelowna is let's try that again. The man himself, Tutti Betty. This thing taxis like, as I think I've said it before with the A320, they taxi like fucking Formula 1 racing cars. You don't need any power in whatsoever, and they just move. Alright, let's, before Tutti makes his final turn, let's bring up the second flight plan over in L&M. See if it's something that we can actually do. No. Probably not. That's a long flight. That is a very long flight. Almost 400 nautical miles, that one. So we might have to forego the second flight. But what we can do is, well, I can plug my Xbox controller in first. Oh, get in there. Alright. Now, let's see. Yep, keep default. Resume. Very good. Now if I press that, then I'm rushing here to try and make sure that we can get over to Tutti before he lands, but I'm not really doing a very good job of it. There we go. Oh, couldn't have timed that better if I bloody tried. Whoop. Well, you don't appear to have any landing gear though, Tutti. That's the only problem. He's down. He's down. Absolute butter. Oh, no, actually, he's not down. Is he down? Are you down? You appear to be floating. That's the only reason why I'm asking if you're down. Well, you must be down, unless you've activated hover mode, which I don't think is an included feature on the Beechcraft somehow. Just trying to figure out where everyone else is in relation to us. Well, welcome nonetheless to Calauna there, Tutti. I'm going to just edge our way over to where everyone is and just see, because obviously I don't want to keep you guys hanging around for like 15 minutes or whatever at the same time. Looks like they are a fair distance away. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually ask you guys the question. Now, you know that we're not going to be attending the second flight leg of Brett's stream just due to time constraints on our end. But let me know, guys, would you like me to hang around and wait for them to come over here to Kelowna and we'll get some videos of them coming in, or would you rather just go over and join Brett over on his stream now? Let me know in the chat. I'm quite flexible. I've still got a little bit of time, another 15 to 20 minutes before I need to start thinking about logging off and starting to settle down for getting myself ready for sleep. Yeah, so Mitty, I've got to be up. About 5 a.m. And I do like to make sure that I get at least 7.5 hours every night. Yep, Tutti wants to wait and watch the landings, which I kind of want to do as well. I just obviously didn't want the content to be drawn out or boring for you guys whilst we wait for them. I didn't realise that the 350 was that much faster than what they took, because when I spoke to Brett on Discord, when he invited me to join and multi-stream this journey, he suggested that I take the Beechcraft King Air 350. Oh, yeah, no, so it's all good, Tutti, as long as, not Tutti, Mitty. I try to make sure I'm in bed by about 10:30 at the latest, and then I set an alarm. I start my alarms about 5 a.m. so that I'm out of bed by, 5:20, 5:30 kind of thing. So that's 7 hours, so that's fine. That's all good. But that's why when I stream midweek, when I've got work the next day, that's why my streams start so early and usually finish by 10 p.m. so that I can be in bed by 10:30. it's, you know, it's either that or I don't stream. So I sort of went, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start streams at like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Oh, we're missing Lazarus. Come on, let's see if we can get it down in enough time. I don't think we can because he's in an F16, so he's going to be significantly quicker than we are. But we're coming, Lazarus. We're coming. I don't even know if you're related to either of these streams, but we're here in the drone, so you're going to get your 15 minutes or your 15 seconds anyway of fame. That's an interesting looking F16. Tino Lino says, hi all. G'day Tino, mate. Welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Hope your week has been amazing. Hope you've got a phenomenal weekend planned as well. Yeah, sure. It's not so much what I did during COVID times, Tootie. In fact, during COVID times, I basically did YouTube full time. Because I was, so in Australia, the government paid you a weekly wage during COVID as long as you met a certain criteria of hours at work. So it was, I believe the criteria was you had to do 15 hours and then the government would pay the business a supporting wage for that 15 hours. So during COVID, I worked 15 hours and streamed and made content the rest of the time. The problem was that at the end of COVID, I was like, yeah, sure, I can balance head chefing and full-time streaming, no problem. Very quickly realized that that was not possible. Lazarus says, I'm with Brett. Oh, mate, not a problem. I was going to say, I thought I recognized the name. Apologies that I don't have the F16. Your F16 looks very interesting right now on stream, but I at least got to give you a small portion of your landing, the slowing down part. I mean, it's better than nothing. KC Plane Spotting says, do you get money from YouTube? So, KC, not directly from YouTube, no, but from doing streaming on YouTube, yes. However, it's not a wage. Every single piece of money that I receive, which is from people donating via Streamlabs, it just goes straight back into the channel. So my Epidemic Sound subscription, internet, Streamlabs Prime, which I had, new aircraft for the sim, add-ons for the other things I was streaming at the time with Truck Sim, etc, etc. That was what I made, but it wasn't an income because everything got put back into the channel, if that makes sense, KC. So the donate button MIDI, and please don't feel as if you need to donate, but it should be in the description. There should be a thing that says streamlabs.tip or tip.streamlabs/justsomaussiegamer or something like that. Yeah. It's linked to Streamlabs, which is linked to PayPal. I think that's how they've done it. Tino Lino says, Microsoft Flight Simulator is much better than X-Plane 12. I love it. And Tino, right now, I agree with you 150%. It is significantly better, and if you had asked me 2 years ago when Microsoft Flight Simulator was released, hey, do you reckon MSFS will be able to compete with X-Plane 12 when it eventually releases, I would have laughed at you, because X-Plane 12 was known as the superior flight dynamics and all that sort of stuff, and if you wanted a proper flying experience, you flew in X-Plane. Well, how wrong I was, because now if you compare X-Plane 12 and Microsoft Flight Simulator, MSFS not only looks better, but seems to match X-Plane 12 for everything in relating to flight dynamics and the way aircraft behave and perform within the sim. What? I never thought I'd see the day, especially seeing as it was the same thing back in the days with FSX and all that. You know, FSX was the good-looking sim, but if you wanted the proper flying experience, you got X-Plane 9 and 10 and all that. So yeah, it sounds crazy to be saying that, but yeah, agreed with you, Tino, 100%. Hey, doggo, where is she? Oh, she's at the door. There you go. She could probably hear my housemate having all sorts of weird laughing and yelling and all that. When you say, so KC Plane Spotting, when you say flight simulator, do you mean like a proper setup with the, you know, like where people take old cockpits and all that out of aircraft and set them up with their PC? Is that what you... If so, agreed. Imagine having a full motion like platform with VR and the whole... I mean, that's all you really need these days to get the full immersion is VR and a full motion platform. Yeah, good idea, Mitty. I should probably be focused on, seeing as that's what we're hanging around here for. Just chatting away, everybody's just landing in front of me. Oh yeah, you know, whatever. Hey, Benny Big Bucks says, hello, Bryce L. G'day, Benny, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing really, really awesome. Hope you happy Friday. Hope you've had an awesome week and got a great weekend planned as well. But yeah, mate, hope you're doing fantastically. We're not joining the second leg of Brett's stream here, but what we are planning to do is we're going to get the drone camera out for everybody who is making their way in. William says, are you still flying with Brett, or did one of you get in front or behind the other? Still flying with Brett, William. We just didn't realise that the King Air was so significantly faster than the rest of the aircraft that were on the stream. Because Brett's actually suggested I fly the King Air. And the two people who were flying the King Air in this stream, myself and Tutti, we've already been here for a good 10 minutes or so. And then Lazarus is in the F-16, so that's not really surprising, the fact that he's arrived here. But no, 100% we are definitely still with Brett. So what we're not going to be joining the second leg, but what we are going to do is we're going to sit here with the drone and put the pressure on everybody as they come into land. Just be like, hey guys, it's going on the internet, don't screw it up. Going to have the black square analog overhaul coming soon too. So, what, like an old school King Air with the old school analog steam gauges? Is that what you're... If so, hell yeah. Because I remember the days of, was it FSX that also had a King Air? And it had all the old school analog steam gauges in it. It was a little bit daunting actually because there was so many gauges. But the Bryce who played FSX as well was much less experienced in the whole idea of flying, simming with aircraft, and had not, at that point, experienced being in the pilot seat or co-pilot seat of Cessnas or anything like I have now experienced. Tino Lino, the A380 is most certainly coming into the game. So, one already exists, a freeware one already exists. It's pretty questionable. Like I wouldn't waste your time on it. But fly-by-wire, the guys who did the modification for the original A320 Neo within the sim that made it, you know, sort of semi-study level, they are working on an A380, which should hopefully be released in the coming months. And you can be guaranteed that that will be a great model worth investing your time into. It may also be free, don't quote me on that. If it's not free, it's going to be cheap. MIDI, yes, F-22. So, beautiful F-22. I don't know if you've been over on Big Jacko's Gaming's streams yet, but that is actually Mia. She has a mild obsession for the F-22. And by mild, I mean extreme. Which, hey, it's not a weird thing. Like, the F-22 is a spectacular aircraft. I can understand her obsession. MIDI... Oh, hang on, sorry, I missed Williams. He says, yes, Black Square did a steam overhaul of the C282. Did they really? So I missed that overhaul. William, because of course I remember the 208 Caravan also in FSX being a steam gauge version. So I need to check out these black square people. Here we go, coming in. I don't actually have the F22 yet, so it's going to be an interest. It's going to be one of those F22s that looks like an A330. You know, the new model that they've released. But Mitty is saying I'm near, as we get a fly past of the F22 A330. Mitty says, I'm near Moorabbin. I constantly spot their after flight school. The Beechcrafts smell so good. And they are very fast and powerful. Absolutely. Yeah, because I think from what you're saying there, Mitty, the Beechcraft aircraft use proper avgas, don't they? I think that's what AVTUR jet fuel means. It's on Just Flight? Oh, okay, sweet. I'll log into my I've got to log into my Just Flight account anyway and download the update for the BAE 146 before tomorrow evening's stream. So that's a good excuse to give me even more motivation. Yeah, they use the proper big jet fuel. Yeah. What do you fly over at Moorabbin, Mitty? I've done a few, so this will give you a better idea of the kind of part of the world I might be nearby to. I've done a few flights at Latrobe Valley Regional in the Cessna 172 there, the steam gauge one that they've got. But they don't have a super amount of aircraft available there at Latrobe Valley Flying School. They've got a few 172s. They've got a Technam, and I think they've also got a Piper for people who are looking to do multi-engine. Not even I've been to the Aviation Museum in Moorabbin. I feel like I need to pull my finger out on that one. Oh, you fly the Sling, Mitty. So, Mitty, here's a question for you, mate. Are you aware of, have you attended Shane at Oz Flight Simmers streams before? He flies on his recreational pilot's license in the Sunshine Coast, and he also flies the Sling. So here we have Dale, Dangerbird's coming in. He's going to put it down on the, as is Marcus, they're going to put it down on the, what's it called? Threshold. The freaking something threshold. Why can't I think of the name? What is the name? The displace threshold. There we go. I knew we'd get there eventually. Mitty, to come back to what you were saying, I absolutely love the Cessna 172 in real life. Like, I love it within the sim, but I think it is one of the greatest, out of all the GA aircraft I've flew, one of those, Cessna 172, cannot beat it for it's so easy, it's powerful, it's just everything you could possibly want. William says, Moorabbin is a rather complex airport, 5 runways. Yeah, absolutely, William. It is a rather complex airport. The other reason, so Moorabbin is good for people who are training to fly for 2 reasons, and you've mentioned the first one. It's got 5 runways, and that already adds to the difficulty level significantly. But the other thing that Moorabbin has is it is, in terms of aircraft movements, the second busiest airport in Australia. So not only do you have to deal with the fact that you have a choice of 5 different runways, which of course means 10 different places where you can land, But you also have to deal with the fact that you are probably, in the fact that you're in the same airspace as Melbourne Airport, you have to deal with the fact that you are in one of the busiest airspaces in the country. So, people who train at Moorabbin tend to be really good GA pilots. Amazing, I know. Who would have thought? You have not watched him, Mitty. So, if you are at all interested, !Oz Flight Sim in the chat will give you a link to his channel. Feel free to, he streams just like I do within the sim. And he also puts out videos of his real life flying in the sling. He's got a few GoPros hooked up in his sling. Mitty says, the slings are extremely nimble and agile. I like them for their maneuverability. Yeah, they would be, because they're so small. Absolutely. One runway is closed. Okay, there you go. You have to avoid Melbourne Centre by flying under its airspace. Yes, of course. Of course, yeah, just stay under its airspace. That makes sense. Tino says, yesterday I had an update, 230 gigabytes for Aerofly 4. This game is not bad, good for VR. So I've heard about Aerofly, Tino, but haven't really done anything with it, obviously, since Microsoft Flight Simulator is released, because, well, what's the point? This sim's got everything you could possibly ever want in it, and more. But for those who don't have PCs that are capable of running MSFS, yeah, Aerofly 4 sounds great. Alright, so, and especially for those who want to do VR, because running VR in MSFS, you need to have a pretty beefy PC to make it worthwhile. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, that does bring us here to Kelowna. That does also bring me to the end of my portion of joining in Brett's stream here, because the next leg is beyond 2 and a bit hours of flying still, I believe. Based on what little nav map is telling me. So guys, thank you very much for jumping into the stream. If somebody, in fact, I can do it now because I've got spare hands, because I'm not holding onto a controller or playing with a joystick or whatever anymore. What I've done is I've put !BrettPlays in the chat. That will give you a link to Brett's channel if you aren't yet involved with it. He's going to be streaming the second leg of this. So please feel free, if you haven't already, go over, join him, say g'day. But guys, I'm going to sign out now on this one. So guys, thank you very much for coming along. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys did enjoy the stream. Scenery was great. I really like what they've done with Canada, and I can't wait to explore a little bit more of Canada with our FIFO and milk runs over the next week or so. But guys, if you haven't yet given that like button some love, it's looking a little bit lonely and could do with some knowledge that it's not all alone. It needs some loving as well, like the rest of us. So if you haven't, if you could please do that, that would be fantastic. It lets YouTube know that I've done something right, and hopefully means more subs, etc., viewers in the future, more people able to find me. And guys, if you haven't also subscribed to the channel, that would be, I would be forever in your debt if you were to do such a wonderful thing. But ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, you make sure that you look after yourselves, you stay safe, you stay well, you don't do anyone that I wouldn't do, and you most certainly don't do anyone that I've already done, although, as we've been through before, that's not exactly a huge number. But guys, thank you very much. Brett's waiting for you to all jump over there and enjoy the second leg with him. Guys, I will see you tomorrow evening for our FIFO run up to the Diavik Diamond Mine here in Canada in the 146. But until then, catch you later.
Dismissed.